Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Nabashai, Bahashim Bakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird. To you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming back at you with another lesson in truth. I'd actually like to salute the Akwaf that are listening and learning too, you few sisters out there. There was a video that I watched last week, and I put it in my to watch later so I can go back and take notes and watch it and and formulate scriptures. And it was on CNBC Prime, and it was called Supermarket Shark: Crisis in America's Food Supply Sneak Peek. And that was on CNBC Prime. And it's funny that, the day I decided to do it, I turned on the camera. I go into my phone and start looking at messages, and I see the thumbnails of, the apostles, the elders, and other brothers, the other laborers putting up videos. And I watched a video of the elder apostle Gabar, and then I watched a video of the beloved brother Mahalaya, the head of KC, and it's just amazing how in the spirit that we all are, because my spirit was lined up with both of them in this day, right? Because both of them spoke on topics. But you know what it is? The reason that is why that happens so much is because we are one with Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai is one with our Father. All right, and that's why that goes on. But basically, let me grab a scripture to start this thing off. Let me go to 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter. And as you see, as I wait for it all to come up, hold on. Come on now. So I can just trying to turn. There we go. Now I can see. Alrighty. Salakia. Esau's tech is slowing, man. Everything's fading away. This is a book of 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, starting in verse 1. And it reads, He answered me, then said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spaketh of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right, so even in the beginning, man. All right, verse 5, let's read it. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, man. So the end is manifest, man. It's showing itself. The signs are showing itself, man. Some people, the few people see it, but the majority of the people don't. All right, they don't see it at all. It's just like someone who walks through the park past a dead playground that's not open with their face covered. No one around her, 100 feet behind her or 100 feet in front of her. But, she's wearing a mask, breathing her own bodily waste, breathing her own carbon monoxide, weakening her immune system. All right? But it just goes to show you, man, the Lord didn't come for everyone. He only came for the few, man. But there was an Edomite couple in this video that I watched, and they were showing how well they were doing, all right, because they had their own food supply. All right, and what I mean by that is that they had a closed loop food system, because they owned a slaughterhouse, a butcher shop, a bakery, a market, an animal farm, and a vegetable farm. So they were doing okay for a moment when this whole thing started. Why? Because they were self-sufficient to an extent, because they didn't have to deal with outsiders. All right, because they slaughtered their own meat, they butchered their own meat, and they had all these different places. All right, so it was closed. So what they did was they took their stores and they closed their stores, their markets to pick up only. You know, so you could pick up and they would run out and do that whole sort of thing. But how long will that go, man? All right, because prior to that, they said at major losses in restaurants and food service people. All right, and they talked about how they've been in business for 17 years, and then the beginning of this year looked great in the 17th year, and all of a sudden, nothing. All right, they said their business excelled because they had human interactions, and see what's happened with this is there's not a whole lot of human interaction right now. And businesses, especially when you have a society that's built and based upon, or you know, that it's a whole financial system is based upon consumerism. All right, well, people actually went out and shopped and touched things, and so what that did do is that allowed, you know, Amazon and, you know, online shopping, it allowed that to prosper. But what did it do in the meantime? It made the playgrounds empty. All right, there's nobody on the playgrounds, there's nobody at the malls, there's no one at the schools. How long do you think that they're going to be able to justify charging the college and the school tuitions where you're loaded at home, in your own home? How long do you think that that's gonna last? All right, let's wait for this madness to go by. But in the video, it said they watched everything unfold, and they went into the pickup delivery, and they had their own supply chain, but that was soon broken. All right, and check it out. It says the schools and dining killed 80% of the business overnight. All right, because a lot of places like that, you know, these schools, you have to bring a lot of food to these schools to feed people. All right, and that killed 80% of their business. They said COVID was destroying much more than health, but when you look at the weather and the animal die-offs, now remember in 2018, 2019, you had those animal die-offs, all those cows, all that cattle, you know, all these different things that died off. It did major damage to and it's showing itself now. All right, it's showing itself now. As a matter of fact, let's grab another scripture. We were saying how that was going to contribute to a food famine in the future, and now it's showing itself, man, because there's a lot of synthetic meat right now. That's why, you know, burgers. I don't mess with burgers, man. You people ordering burgers, man, you're not eating meat. I'm telling you. As a matter of fact, even before this, there wasn't enough cows in America to put out the output of the demand for hamburgers. So that ain't nothing new, man. That's been going for a while, man. All right, you think you're eating hamburgers, and no, you are not. You're eating some laboratory created Bill Gates shit that's probably gonna, as you eating it, it's eating you. Damn Franken food. But this is Isaiah 28:2, and Salakia 28:2, and it reads, "Behold, Yahweh have a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, cast down to the earth with the hand." And guess what? There were major floods in different parts of the world and in America, and those lightning strikes that caused all that fire, man. You know, and that fire is burning up critical farming ground, on top of the fact that it's burning up those secluded Edomite towns up in the hills and the mountains, you know, in the northern part of California. Let's go to Isaiah 29. So I think it's 29:6 reads very similar. Right, and it reads, "Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquakes and with great noise, with storm and tempest and flame of devouring fire." That was even a scene of a fire NATO. That's what they were calling it, man. Just a spinning angry fire destroying shit. All right, so the Lord is tearing. Then not to mention down, and also in Northern California, you got San Francisco's going through the same thing that New York is going through. Two of the most expensive cities in the whole union, which both contribute majorly to the gross national product of America, to the GDP America can't survive without New York, and it definitely can't survive without California, man. All right? It can't. Silicon Valley is going dry, man. With all them thieves that stole all them Jake's inventions and shit and didn't give them no credit for it. You know how they get down. Put Steve Jobs' face on it. You know? But meanwhile, this same couple that own this closed loop food system, after a couple months of COVID, they ended up, before they fired a majority of their employees and sent them home, they gave a lot of food away. They dumped 5 greenhouses of vegetables in one day. Food shortage and hyperinflation is definitely on its way. I mean, it's here in some cases in some places. And then you idiots, you jakes that followed BLM and Antifa, because those are organizations controlled by so-called white people, and the majority of the members in them are so-called white people. And they making you dummies the face of it, because they labeled it Black Lives Matter, and you're not black. All right? No one's skin is black. I almost get sick of saying it, but you got to keep saying it. All right? I just saw a woman off screen walking in the black shorts and a black top. All right? I'm looking at the black bag that this camera stand goes into. No one's skin is that color. People are different shades of brown, and people's are different shades of red. And those red flesh people refer to themselves as white. So you got to remember, those are 2 false social constructs that were used to blind, control, and confuse the people, and it has worked quite well. As a matter of fact, within about 60 seconds or so, someone wearing all black with pale flesh, with red pinkish flesh, is going to walk right by the camera. You'll see it for yourself. Think about it. Then there's another couple. Or not a couple, but partner. It was Kathy and Jim. Kathy Burns, I believe her name was, and Jim. Well, they own Blue Moon Acres. All right, Blue Moon Acres, and they had 260 high-end accounts in NYC. Have you seen NYC as lately? Have you seen Fifth Avenue? Have you seen what's going on at Times Square? I just got quiet so you could observe. But have you seen what's going on in Times Square? Well, it says that 260 high-end accounts in NYC lost almost all their business in a week's time. All right? In a week's time. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Because it's absolutely beautiful to the men of the Lord, to the people who believe, man. To the men and the women of the elect of what's going on. This is Deuteronomy 30:7. And it reads, "And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee." All right? So what you're seeing is the downfall of Esau, Edom. The curses are they wearing the curses now. All right? They wearing that shit like a cheap coat. All right? And then guess what? Who else is hurt by this whole thing that's going on? The truckers. All right? Trucking industry is in dire straits, man. All right? There's not a whole lot of work for them. Independent operators are having a hard time, man. You know? And the major trucking companies are laying off, getting rid of people, making their fleet smaller. All right? You know? But let's grab one more scripture. Get ready to wrap this thing up. Because when these truckers stop rolling, man, because that's another issue. All right, but this is 2 Ezra 6:24. Actually 22. All right, 24 was on my mind because that's coming too, but 22, 2 Ezra 6:22. "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown." You see anybody playing in that playground? All right, I wonder what the Mall of America looks like right about now. Okay? It says, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall be found empty. All right? And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear it, they shall be suddenly afraid, because that's coming too. Those warning disaster horns that are going to be going off all over the place. All right, warning you to stay in the house, and then warning you of incoming, and warning all manner of destruction is coming, man. As the Lord continues to visit this place. But verse 24, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, because when there's no food, all those people over there, as a matter of fact, let's see if we can zoom in to the houses on the other side of the park there. All right, all those people in those houses on the other side of that park, they're going to be kicking in each other's doors, man. All right, it says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So, hey, they're going to turn off the water, man. And these people are going to lose it. They're going to lose it. All right? So with that, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Nahashai, Ba'Shem Rakak Wadach, Wa Abba Babal, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.